Tommy Vercetti stepped off the prison bus, the sun beating down on him. The air in Vice City was thick and humid, like stepping into a shark's mouth. 7 years inside hadn't softened him. His eyes scanned the streets. Every shadow held a threat. Every smile hid a lie. He'd learned that the hard way. Across the street, a limo idled with tinted windows. No mistaking the driver, Ken Rosenberg, lawyer, slick, shifty, more scared of Tommy than anyone else. Good. Fear was power. Tommy tossed his duffel bag in the back and slid into the plush leather seat. S1. Back to hell.
Set you straight, Tommy.
In Rosenberg's penthouse with sweeping views of the city, empty promises filled the air. Got a big deal going down. You're gonna run it, Rosenberg said, pouring expensive whiskey. Tommy knew better than to trust, but he played along. What's the score? He asked. His eyes narrowed. The deal was simple. Drugs, money, power, the usual. But something stunk and Tommy felt it in his gut. He agreed but kept his guard up. The meet went down at the docks. A trap. Gunfire erupted. Tommy dove for cover as his own men turned on him. Forelli's men. The betrayal cut deep, but he was still alive. And that meant something. He fought his way out. Bullets whizzing past, adrenaline surging. He was out of his depth, but wouldn't go down without a fight. He managed to escape, but barely. Wounded, betrayed, he swore revenge. They'd underestimated him. Big mistake. Vice City would learn his name.
Diaz, we need to talk.
Vice City, a jungle, and Tommy Vercetti was about to become its apex predator. He needed allies, information, weapons. First, he found a phone and dialed a number he knew by heart. Diaz, he growled into the receiver. Ricardo Diaz, Cuban drug lord, ruthless, paranoid. But he hated the Forellis even more than Tommy did. A temporary alliance. Diaz gave him names, places, leads to follow. Tommy started piecing together the puzzle. The Forellis had gotten ambitious, tried to cut him out of the deal. Now, they were in his way. He immersed himself in the city's underbelly, sleazy nightclubs, back alley deals. He met informants, recruited muscle, gathered information like a weapon. He learned about the biker gangs, the corrupt cops, the politicians on the take. Everyone had a price. Everyone could be used. Tommy was playing a dangerous game, but the stakes had never been higher. Control of Vice City was within reach, and he wouldn't let anyone stop him.
The streets became his battleground. Each day a new confrontation. He took out the Forelli's businesses one by one. A message, loud and clear, he wouldn't be ignored.
The biker gangs tried to stand in his way.
They learned their lesson in a hail of bullets and burning chrome. The police were on his tail, but Tommy was always a step ahead. He knew the city like the back of his hand, every shortcut, every hiding place. He used their corruption against them. Bribes, threats, blackmail, whatever it took.
His reputation grew with every victory. People started to whisper his name in hushed tones. Tommy Vercetti, the guy who took on the Forellis and lived, the guy who was shaking up Vice City. He was a force to be reckoned with, and he was just getting started.
Tommy knew that chaos could be a weapon. He sowed discord among his enemies, turning them against each other. He funded rival gangs, instigated turf wars, and watched them tear each other apart. All the while, he remained in the shadows, pulling the strings.
He infiltrated the corrupt police force, exposing their dirty secrets and turning them into his pawns.
Those who couldn't be bought were dealt with, permanently. His grip on the city tightened.
He used the media to his advantage, leaking information and manipulating public opinion. He built a network of informants, from street hustlers to high society wives. Knowledge was power, and Tommy craved both. He was no longer just a survivor. He was a strategist, a mastermind playing a deadly game of chess with Vice City as his board.
The final showdown was inevitable. Tommy, backed by his loyal crew and a city on the brink, faced off against Sonny Forelli, the head of the Forelli family.
The air crackled with tension. Betrayal and blood had led to this moment.
The battle was brutal, a symphony of gunfire and screams. But Tommy had anticipated every move, countered every attack. He'd lured the Forellis into a trap, and now there was no escape.
In the end, Sonny Forelli lay dead, his empire crumbling around him. Tommy stood victorious, the undisputed king of Vice City. The city was his. But at what cost? He looked out over the neon-lit skyline, a city bathed in blood and shadowed by his ambition. He was on top, but the game never truly ends.